we are. So yeah, I had to end the last stream and start another one after I got this file moved over to my phone. This is definitely where I draw the line. This is definitely where the Department of Justice needs to draw the line. This is definitely where the FBI needs to draw the line. For far too long, they have been complicit and have refused to properly investigate crimes of corruption. Well, now, this particular ordeal actually involves them as far as their name, okay? You cannot let an imposter call representing themselves as the FBI and them not be the FBI. This guy was not the FBI. So I want to go ahead and I want to say, I'll say publicly, okay, that my gut reaction on all this was that this was a goal for whoever this was to capture enough of my voice, which I mean is available online anyways, but you know, being able to ask me certain questions. I believe that whoever this is, if it's a group of people or if it's one, I believe that they're going to try to voice clone me. They're going to try to, because they've got all this technology that's steadily just upgrading. And there are a lot of places where you can upload a certain amount, a certain length of your voice for it to voice clone. Because I can't think of really any other motive other than if they had a way of tracking me through the phone, which I doubt seriously that would be the case. It's racking my mind on what this could possibly be. You know, why would they do it? So I'm gonna let you hear it. You be the judge yourself. Hello?
Is it Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey man, my name is Adam Smith. I'm an agent with the FBI.
Hey, what's up?
Contacted the local U.S.
Do what?
Okay, well, let me get your information here real quick.
Okay. And can I get and can I just for my record, just because obviously I don't know if I'm actually talking to an FBI agent or not. You said your name and badge number, or your shield number?
Yeah, we don't really have that. I don't really have a badge number.
Okay, all right. I mean, I wanted to make sure, because I've had people call and act like, you know, they were this or that, and I just wanted to ensure that I was actually talking to an FBI agent.
I understand. Well, so, I mean, I don't know if anyone would just randomly have the knowledge that you called and left a voicemail at the U.S. Attorney's Office. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, okay. I believe there's...
They reached out to me or to my supervisor and asked me to give you a call.
Okay. Yeah, it's, this is a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. July 3rd, the day before Independence Day, I'm a journalist. And, I was...
Hold on, one second. I'm sorry. Now, could I get your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Matthew Reardon.
Hold on, real quick. Matthew. And what's that last name?
Reardon. I thought you knew my name.
So I knew Matt. I had a rough time hearing the last part, the Reardon part,
Gotcha.
On the voicemail. I'm sorry. And I got your phone number here, 769-227. I'm sorry. That's not your phone number. It's my phone number. 662-701. 662-701. What's the last four of your cell phone number?
2458.
2458.
And you
Hey,
said,
are you from Mississippi?
yeah, I've lived most of my life over there. You said your name was Adam? What?
Yes, Adam Smith.
Adam Smith. All right. Are you an agent or are you a special agent?
Well, there is no. We're all special agents. There are no agents.
That's news to me. I've spoken to agents, and then I've spoken to special agents that were the supervisor.
Yeah, so some people will say we'll shorten that to agent this or agent that, but technically we're special agents in that I am an agent of either the Attorney General or the FBI Director. I only have special powers under his agency, so I am not his agent. I am a special agent with special authority.
I got you.
That make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah, basically, I'm calling for a pattern and practice investigation, civil rights investigation into to Mississippi. The evidence is substantial. I published to a news site. I've been.
What agency?
Do what?
What agency were you talking about?
As far as news?
No, I meant patterns and practices. What law enforcement agency?
So I'm talking about the well, I'm asking for a pattern and practice investigation into the governor's office, into the Mississippi State Troopers, which would be under the Department of Public Safety. Definitely 100% the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department, as well as the Oxford Police Department.
Okay.
And it's well more than a pattern and practice that's developed. The latest thing that happened that had me calling down there, I talked to Aaron Chalk a couple of weeks ago, was I was peacefully protesting. I was exercising my right under the First Amendment to peacefully protest outside of the governor's mansion on the public sidewalk on Thursday, July 3rd of this year, just a few weeks ago. The governor actually signed a fraudulent document causing me to be, it turned out to be the whole thing was a multi-state conspiracy between North Mississippi and Galveston, Texas, to have me framed for a DWI charge in order to silence me. It was 2 Lafayette County Sheriff's deputies that are actually on recorded call reaching out to this Galveston, Texas police officer. What happened was, I'd like to just start a little bit before that if I can, and that's the problem with there are so many different things that have happened. That's why I had to write a book. Is it's so convoluted. I want to, if I start at one place, then I feel the need to actually talk about how we got to that place, and then what that is has a beginning and has it's crazy. But yeah, so on October 28th, 2022, I reached out to the FBI field branch over there in Oxford, Mississippi, to report law enforcement corruption with the Holly Springs Police Department as well as the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department. Lafayette County had me banished from Lafayette County. They actually hit me with a sham charge before that. I was denied due process pretty much all the way around, and due to a family crisis going on in my life, with my wife getting fired from her job and having a baby fighting for his life in the hospital, I pled out. And I never wanted to plea out, but I felt like I had to plea out for the sake of my family. I pled out, and they banished me from Lafayette County. as well as put me on unsupervised probation. Well, I wanted to talk to the FBI about what Lafayette County had done, as well as what I had, some very sketchy stuff that I had come to knowledge of over in Holly Springs. So I reached out to an FBI agent over in Oxford, and I, just for my safety, and I'm so glad I did. I recorded the call just so I could show that, hey, I called there and had arranged to come up there to Oxford. I then reached out to the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department and spoke to a Candace Beavers. Huh?
Who did you speak out with at the FBI? Do you remember?
He never did give his name. I've got the call, but he never gave his name, and it was the guy that was just answering the main phone calls over there. And I told him, he said that we don't do appointments. I was trying to get an appointment to come by there, and he said, we don't do appointments, we do walk-ins only. And I said, well, this is a little bit different of a situation because I'm banished from Lafayette County. And I said, how about I just bring this evidence that I have up there here in the next, hour and a half. He said, okay. So then I called the Sheriff's Department and I spoke to Candace Beavers. And I told Candace exactly what I had just got done talking to the agent, except I didn't tell her what it was about as far as like what I was going to be talking to the agents about. But I told her I had to go up there, and I conveyed everything perfectly to her. Well, 3 days later, it was November the 1st. I guess that would have been almost 4 days later. I was abruptly pulled over, coming back from a city council meeting where I was speaking out. I was pulled over, and this sheriff's deputy said that they had filed a writ to revoke my probation and that I had to come with him. Come to find out, so went to the revocation hearing. They kept me in jail. It was a relatively short amount of time. It was like 2 days, and then they held a revocation hearing. And I did not have that phone that had the recorded calls. And I tried explaining this to the judge. And they held basically a kangaroo hearing and revoked my probation based on Candace Beavers intentionally lying on stand, saying that I had no lawful reason to come to the FBI office in Oxford. She said that I did not have permission, that after I got off the phone that the sheriff called over there and that they told him that I didn't have permission. But I've got the recorded calls both to them as well as the sheriff's department, and they sentenced me to a year in prison based on her lies. And I'm very untrusting of the FBI. I'd like to see some good faith here, because in all this time, where's the FBI been to actually come forward and say, yeah, we talked to that guy. What happened to him was screwed up. She lied on stand in court, and he went to prison for a year when he was trying to report law enforcement corruption. That's a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous thing, man. I mean, nobody should ever get persecuted for reporting a crime to the authorities. And I did there. And then I feel like, honestly, the FBI let me drown. They knew that I was innocent, and they knew that I had called up there, and yet this was allowed to happen. And so I get out of prison August 1st of 2023. And when I'm out, I did what anybody would do in that same situation. I got the court transcript. I got the recorded phone calls. I put together a video where it was lined up perfectly, where her answers in court were lined up with the call. And, you can tell that she intentionally perjured herself, intentionally lied on stand. It was all part of a conspiracy to have me put in prison, because I was a sore thumb to them, because I had been investigating Lafayette County for corruption for 7-8 years. I've got a huge file on them. They've literally put me in a state hospital twice within 2 months' time to try to get rid of me as part of a cover-up. I was digging into the Lafayette County Law Enforcement Officers Association, 501c3, that was co-founded by the sheriff and his number 2 guy, as well as the old mayor of Oxford. And from what I can tell, things look very, very shady right there with that nonprofit. I mean, I plan on doing another request for the financial records there, but there's something, shady going on right there. But they changed records in circuit court twice within a 1.5 years' time. I have it captured. It's on video. It's on my website. And then they tried to gaslight me and say that I was paranoid and delusional and that I would go out in public recording. And they had me committed to a state hospital like I was crazy when I had no diagnoses, nothing. These people have just attacked over and over and over again. I'm sick and tired of it. So this gets to where we're at right now. So 9 days after I got out of prison, August 1st, 2023, on August 10th, I got tips of law enforcement corruption going on with the Galveston, Texas Police Department. That they were, in particular, they were making false arrests. There was some racial profiling going on. And so I drove to Galveston. I was going to go meet up with a couple of journalists down there and go and film police stops down in Galveston. As I'm going into the Galveston city limits, 11 hours later, I get pulled over, and the officer, Osteen, comes to my door, and the first question that he asked me is, "So are you an auditor, man?" And I told him I wasn't going to answer questions. And he told me that, he said, "How much have you had to drink tonight?" I was like, "I haven't drank in 4 to 5 years. What are you talking about?" He kept claiming that he smelled alcohol. He wanted me to do a field sobriety test. I told him I wasn't going to take his field sobriety test because I don't trust a subjective test. I want something objective. Give me a breathalyzer. They wouldn't give me a breathalyzer. They took me to the hospital and they tortured me at the hospital. I've got the body cam videos. They had 6 or 7 cops. They had my hands handcuffed behind my back, and they had me held face down on a hospital bed while the nurse stuck me multiple times with a needle. And I've got a phobia of needles. They drew blood. They took me to the hospital. They took me to the jail. They booked me in the jail on suspicion of felony DWI. Even if I was drunk driving down the roads in Galveston, they couldn't charge me with a felony. They just couldn't, and they knew that. But they used more of Lafayette County's lies to perpetuate this scheme. As I was in booking, I heard the arresting officer, William Osteen, on the cell phone with Candace Beavers. I heard her voice. Her voice is unmistakable. So when I heard it that night, and I told my attorney, I was like, look, I know that he had this communication with her. Sure enough, he's got the recorded calls. And, I mean, it's clear as day. The 2 sheriff's deputies from Lafayette County that call William Osteen at 2 o'clock in the morning on August 11th are Hobie James, Hoby, and Candace Beavers. Both of those 2 are featured in that expose that I put out about Candace lying on stand in court. He is the one, Hobie James is the one that pulls me over November 1st. So, of course, I've got a video of that, and that's on the beginning of that video.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you went out there for a second. Sorry about that.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So it's just, I mean, it's clear cut. The conspiracy doesn't get any clearer than this. If you can't look at this and all that's happened and see conspiracy, Galveston dismissed the charge. There was no alcohol in my system. But you know what? It didn't stop me. It was quid pro quo between Lafayette County and Galveston. Because one, they were both helping each other. Lafayette County called in a favor. And so they had to keep swapping favors back and forth. And so what they did was, they knew they weren't going to ever be able to convict me on it because they knew that I had no alcohol in my system. So what they did, somebody's calling, send it voicemail. So what they did is Galveston held me in jail for 11 months. And 2 weeks prior to going to trial, they extradited me to Mississippi. They used the no bond hold, the extradition hold from Mississippi, that the governor rubber stamped a sham governor's warrant to make this all happen. And 2 weeks prior to me, clearing my name, I get shuttled, or as I like to think of it, I got trafficked to Lafayette County, Mississippi, held in jail over there until past the maximum amount of time before they could even hold a revocation hearing. But it didn't matter to them because it was pre-orchestrated anyways. And they used Osteen. They had the Galveston police officer testify over Zoom. And I've got the transcript of that. He told so many lies. They were bold-faced lies. He actually said that I had alcohol in my system in court. And the toxicology report says no alcohol. They sentenced me to 2 years in prison without a conviction, with me just spending 11 months in jail on something that they had conspired, and that's right after serving a 1-year sentence for Candace Beavers lying, saying that I had no permission to go to the FBI office. And so I get sent off to prison, and I spent about 6 months in prison. And then the MacArthur Justice Center got me out. They, through the documents they filed, it was declared an unlawful and illegal sentence, and it was vacated. And I was released from prison. And now there's of course, I had to, I've screamed to the authorities for help with this. It couldn't be clearer. This is some of the worst, types of public corruption, abuse of power. And that knock at the door has just gone unanswered the entire time. There's so many things that happened going back to 2017, and they're all linked. This all falls under RICO. There needs to be a RICO investigation into this, because it's all RICO. It's all RICO. They're all predicate acts that are connected. So then I stand outside of the governor's mansion. I held a sign that said, "Fuck the governor." It's my First Amendment right. I can say that. All right. Obviously, I had reasons for being upset. I was sent to prison because of law enforcement run amok in Mississippi, and the governor put his signature and the state seal on a governor's warrant that said that he authenticates under Mississippi, or under Mississippi law, that that the documents, the annexed papers, were authenticated under Mississippi law, but they weren't. They couldn't have been more fake than. I mean, it's the petition to revoke my probation said that I was on probation for possession of a controlled substance. I've never been charged with possession of a controlled substance. It said that I was in jail under a driving under the influence third offense. First of all, that's not even what it is in the penal code over in Texas. It's driving while intoxicated, third or more. But where it really went astray is they completely fabricated a case number. What the case number and the crime and what I was allegedly on probation for were not true. And then from that petition, a bench warrant was drawn and signed off on instantly. And the bench warrant had the false information as well. And then that went to the governor's office, and the governor, without checking into anything, signed off on that. Authenticated fake documents. And that was used to extradite me over, even though I never waived extradition. I was wanting to contest it because I knew everything was sham. But how is that any, to be honest with you, how's that any different than a human trafficking victim? Somebody that was kidnapped and then trafficked. Are you there?
Yes, I wouldn't see that as human trafficking.
No, I'm just.
If I could back up a little bit.
But you see the crimes.
If I could back up a little bit. I could back up a little bit. I think you said you had a sign that said, "Fuck the governor." What was it you had against the governor?
They stood down the entire time I reported this heinous public corruption. Can we both agree that that absolutely is a serious crime for a sheriff's deputy to lie on stand in court, to send somebody to prison, and then to retaliate on them for exposing them, and to call in a favor to have that person falsely arrested? Can we both agree that that's a crime?
I mean, if someone says something false on a stand, that's a crime.
It's a little bit more than just perjury, though. And I would hope that you would understand that.
So you were mentioning human trafficking, and then what happened?
No, I was not mentioning. Okay, all right. Look, here's the thing. This is turned into a pretty weird phone call. I can't even get you to admit that this stuff is wrong. So I'm going to be terminating this call at this time. If you can call back from a number that can be actually identified as being from the FBI, I'll be happy to talk to you. But right now, I have every reason to believe that that your motives are not good on this. So I'm going to be terminating this call now.
Have a nice day.
Alright, so you can't make this stuff up. I'm sick and tired of it. Look, this message is to the FBI, the real FBI, and the DOJ, the real DOJ, okay? You got to do an investigation now. Hands down. You got to do one. You got to. You can't just stand by and not do it and let somebody invoke your name to try to conspire and set. I mean, clearly, they're up to something. I can tell you that right now. They are up to something. They got that call for some reason. There was nothing I said on that call that I haven't already said in all of my videos. There were 100% nefarious reasons behind that call. And so help me God. If somebody clones my voice and puts something out there and they clamp down on me because I've even called this up front, that I feel like 100% that's what that was. You have a duty to investigate. This is just madness. It's one thing after another. I believe somebody that's connected to Governor Tate Reeves or Lafayette County, somebody connected to the Lafayette County Sheriff, something. This is where that person stemmed from. They used a 769 area code, which is Mississippi. It's like one of the newer codes. I don't know what area over there that's from. But it's definitely not a number that an FBI agent is going to use. I feel like this person, they clearly didn't do their homework. They clearly didn't do their research, okay? If they were really trying to pass off what they were doing. I think they just got a text-free number or some type of online number, free number, and they registered a Mississippi number right there just to make it look like it came from Mississippi. But from the beginning, alarms were going off on that one. So what did I do? I used that call as a platform so that the truth, once again, could get out there, so that when the FBI and the DOJ, if they do their job here, and I can't imagine why they wouldn't. I mean, that's just straight criminal to allow somebody to invoke the name of your agency and then stand down and not investigate it. That would say that you were 100% culpable in everything that's going on. So I don't know. I'm demanding an investigation. I'm demanding prosecution. I'm demanding a report on the findings. Because I want to nip this in the bud where it needs to be. Yeah, I'm in the midst of traveling. Doing a lot of traveling. Of course, I'm not going to disclose where. But yeah, for anybody on here that understands what's going on here. Maybe you understand because maybe you've dealt with a portion of it. Maybe you understand because maybe you had a family member that dealt with it. Or maybe you understand because you've been watching over the last several years. Or maybe all the way back to 2017 to see the progression of this and how it's gotten out so far out of control, and you realize that something's got to be done. That standing down allows this to spiral worse worse and worse out of control. We need people that are willing to speak up. We need people that are willing to show civil disobedience when it's needed, okay? When it's necessary. Right now, it is necessary. And we need people that are willing to file lawsuits. They're willing to hit them non-stop with lawsuits. Not that they're going to have to pay for them, because they won't. They do this stuff knowing that it's, that the people are ultimately going to front the bill for their actions. Oh, that was this Switcher app has these like fill-in types of things that I can replace the placeholder. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought right there. It's right on the tip of my brain though. But this stuff has got to oh yeah, I was talking about the taxpayers. Okay? You're not going to affect them with a lawsuit. But one thing that you can affect with filing lawsuits is maybe, just maybe, the taxpayers of that state will get furious at some point and will come together and will stand up and will get rid of these corrupt actors. Because this is what it's going to take. It's going to take the people as a whole getting infuriated at the people they have that's supposed to be governing them, that's supposed to be protecting them. It's actually causing harm, and it's draining their resources, draining spending their tax dollars. Meanwhile, steadily going up on their taxes. And why are they going up on their taxes? To pay for stupid shit like this when they're playing war games on the citizens' dime. Enough is enough. "8 years. That's how long I've been screaming into the void, filing court pleadings, exposing lies, confronting cowards in uniform and in robes, while the people sworn to protect constitutional rights either turn their backs or join the assault. I've had my rights violated, my name dragged through the mud, my freedom stolen, my livelihood destroyed, and my words censored. All while those with the power to intervene did absolutely nothing. And now they're back at it again, this time outside the governor's mansion, where I stood alone, holding a sign on a public sidewalk, exercising my First Amendment rights. And what did I get? Assaulted by a state trooper, on camera, in front of his supervisor. No badge number. No name, no accountability. And the governor? Silent. Not a damn word. Let me say this plain. The system is not broken. It is functioning exactly as designed, to protect its own, to silence the truth, and to crush anyone who dares to expose it. You screamed fuck your rights at me for 8 years. With your silence, your lies, and your handcuffs. So now, fuck your privilege. Fuck your narrative. Fuck your comfort. You don't get to dismiss me as a conspiracy theorist. Every document I publish is real. Every video is time-stamped truth. Every statement backed by filings, transcripts, affidavits, and blood. My content is the proof. Every so-called official who had a chance to stop this and didn't, you're not just complicit, you're part of the story now. I am documenting the injustice, loudly, publicly, permanently, and to every agency, every office, every so-called official who had a chance to stop this and didn't. You're not just complicit. You're part of the story now. History won't remember your silence kindly, but it will remember me, because I never shut up. I am the watchdog you couldn't muzzle. I am the press you tried to blacklist. I am the father, the citizen, the journalist, and I'm still standing. Good afternoon. My name's Matthew Reardon. I'm a journalist. I'm a father. I'm a citizen of the United States. And on July 3rd, 2025, on a sidewalk paid for by we the people, I was violently confronted and assaulted by a Mississippi state trooper for doing exactly what the Constitution permits and protects, holding a sign and speaking my truth. That truth, the people of Mississippi are being failed, not only by the laws being passed, but by the force used to silence those who dare to oppose them. I was standing peacefully on a public sidewalk outside the governor's mansion in Jackson, live streaming, holding a sign, exercising my First Amendment rights, the same rights that brave men and women fought and died for, the same rights that every elected official in this state took an oath to uphold. But instead of protecting those rights, a Mississippi state trooper charged at me, knocked my camera phone off my gimbal, stepped on it, and screamed at me to leave public property under threat of arrest. And when I asked for his name and badge number, he refused. When I asked for a supervisor, they covered for him. When I demanded accountability, I got a shrug and a smirk. That officer's face may as well have been the face of a government saying, your rights don't matter here. Let me be clear. This was not law enforcement. This was lawless enforcement. We cannot allow the badge to become a shield for brutality. We cannot allow the uniform to become a weapon against free speech. And we will not accept a future in which any citizen is violently silenced for challenging the powerful. So today I'm calling on 3 specific offices, and I will not be ignored. First, to the office of Governor Tate Reeves. You have a duty to speak. The public is watching. The world is watching. Issue an immediate statement denouncing the actions of your state trooper. Make clear to your citizens, to law enforcement, and to the nation that violence against peaceful protest is not Mississippi policy. Silence is complicity. Your inaction is permission. Speak up. Second, to the Mississippi Attorney General. You have received complaint after complaint of government corruption and coordinated retaliation, including formal grievances, sworn affidavits, and documented civil rights violations. You have ignored every single one. This time, there's video. This time, there are hundreds of witnesses, and by now, close to 100,000. This time, I'm submitting a sworn criminal affidavit under penalty of perjury for assault and battery by a sworn officer of your state. You must acknowledge this complaint, or step aside and appoint a special counsel to prosecute it. Your job is not to defend the badge. It's to defend the law. And the law demands prosecution when citizens are assaulted by the very officials sworn to uphold their rights. Finally, to the United States Department of Justice. The time for polite emails and press releases is over. Mississippi is violating the civil rights of its people, openly, violently, and without consequence. I'm formally calling for the Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division, to initiate a pattern and practice investigation under federal law into the Mississippi Highway Patrol, the Office of the Governor, and other state agencies involved in this ongoing campaign of retaliation. This is no longer about one officer. It's about a system that refuses to hold itself accountable. A system that signs false extradition papers, imprisons the innocent, destroys lives, and assaults journalists on camera. If this can happen to me, a man with a camera and a platform, then what happens to the voiceless, to the homeless, to the poor, to the forgotten? That's why I'm standing here today, not just for me, but for everyone who's been told to shut up, stand down, and disappear. The public deserves justice. The press deserves protection. And the law demands prosecution when citizens are assaulted by the very officials sworn to uphold their rights. We're not going away. We're not backing down. And we will not stop until every corrupt actor is exposed. Every officer who broke the law is held to account. And every citizen's right to protest is restored and respected. This fight is just beginning. And I promise you this: I will not be silent. Not now, not ever. Please help spread this message. Make sure the governor's office gets it. Make sure the Mississippi Attorney General's office gets it. Make sure the United States Department of Justice gets it. This madness has gone on for too long. It's this madness that creates people like me they see as a huge problem. Yeah, all this is we the people's property. Now, inside of that gate, huh?
You go across the street, you get fine and all that, okay?
Well, no, I'm fine right here.
No, you're not fine.
How am I not?
Because I said you are.
I'm on the sidewalk.
No. Yeah, one more time.
I'm on the...
Get your stuff. They go the fuck across the street. You understand me?
Is it under threat of arrest?
Yeah, you're under threat of arrest. The fuck ain't around here, man.
Do you know what the First Amendment is?
I don't give a fuck with the First
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name and badge number? Tyrant? What's your name and badge number? I have a First Amendment right to be on the sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. I'm on the fucking sidewalk. Do something about it.
Hey, man, get your shit. Go.
Hey, you're going to get away from me. You're going to get away from me. Put your hands on me.
Get the fuck on before I knock you.
Oh!
Fuck on, man.
Whoa!
Fuck on with you.
Hey,
We tell you that, man.
Let's de-escalate.
Fuck you think I'm playing with you, man?
Hey,
Fuck.
League. Go back in.
That's it. I want charges placed on him. I want charges on him. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now. I want charges on him now.
Hey.
I want charges on him now. Look.
You don't sit your ass.
There's something seriously wrong with you.
hey, back off.
What the fuck are you going to do about it? What are you doing to him? He doesn't need to even be here anymore. Send his ass home. After that right there, I'm standing where I can stand at.
I'm telling you, do not
I'm
walk
standing
behind
where I
me.
can
That is
stand
fine.
at.
Do not come this way again, okay?
It's your fucking ass. Hey, I want his name and badge number. What's his name? I need name and badge numbers of all y'all. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
My supervisor just asked you to step away from
Name and badge number.
You asked for a supervisor, we gave you one.
Hey, I need a name and badge number. I need a name and badge number.
Back off.
Name and
Back
badge
off.
number.
Back off. Back off. White. Now back off.
White?
That's the color. White. Now back off.
All right, everybody. That's going to be it. That is going to wrap things up. You know, I definitely have lawsuits that are filed and are getting filed. But it's so much more than just a lawsuit. You know, because really, they don't care about lawsuits. They'll drag them out forever. It needs the people that are asleep at the wheel need to wake up. And to all the tyrants out there that have fully weaponized against the people, I want you to know that the founders of our country, the authors of the Constitution, did write the Second Amendment in, not for hunting. They wrote the Second Amendment in for when the First Amendment falls. So if you think you're going to keep suppressing voices, weaponizing against the people, stand ready. Good night, y'all.